Joining us now is Jennifer Cona from Cona Elder Law, a company that I have a deep respect for because of the way that they help their clients and families thrive. Welcome, and how are you?
I'm terrific. Thanks so much for having me, Donna. It's
It,
great to see
oh
you.
my gosh, it's been about 3 years that I have kind of known of your firm and all of the work that you do. First of all, I want to thank you for being such a strong advocate and community supporter. And I asked you if there was a favorite group that you wanted to help, and you had mentioned, which is what?
The Long Island Alzheimer's and Dementia Center.
Why, Jennifer, is that important to you?
It's really important because we don't have a cure for Alzheimer's. There's so many trials going on all the time. We get closer, but then the FDA doesn't approve a new drug. It's a constant battle. And what the Long Island Alzheimer's and Dementia Center does is help people who are suffering with the disease now and their caregivers. So they're providing hands-on care for people with early stage, middle stage, and end stage, respite care for caregivers. So they're helping people right now going through it. And until there's a cure, we need to do something for people suffering now. And that's what I love about it. And I also love that it's a local group. All money is raised on Long Island, stays on Long Island, and I just love that. And the people are terrific.
My grandmother suffered from dementia, and I loved where she was able to have her life in later years. She lived in a home called Manresa House, and it was so supportive and loving and a good environment for her. She was safe, but they also celebrated, the things that she could do.
Yes.
The things that brought her joy,
Yep.
right? Whether it was playing cards or bingo or, just something that was joyful to her on a
Yes.
day-to-day basis, like celebrating someone's strengths and not making them feel less than,
Absolutely.
to have that
Yep.
respect.
That's
How
what
does,
Liad is all about, a
yeah,
life worth living after diagnosis.
absolutely,
Yep.
right? And really taking that to heart.
Yeah.
And I know that your law firm specializes in just that,
Yep.
right? That's why it's elder law, which is a
Yes.
specialty onto itself.
Mhm.
And the things that you do, one of the things are about protecting assets.
Yes.
Okay, walk us through that
Sure.
first point.
So that's critically important for everybody. And that could be people of middle income or people of very high net worth. We all work very hard for the money that we make, right? Nobody wants to see it squandered. Nobody wants to spend that down on the cost of care because it goes very, very fast, whether that's home care, could be assisted living, could be nursing home care, very expensive, particularly on Long Island or in Metro New York. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you're a high net worth person, you don't want that gone on estate taxes, whether that's New York taxes or federal. So you need to do planning. The bottom line is planning, and the sooner the better. For the Medicaid planning people, you need to plan 5 years in advance because there's a 5-year look back for Medicaid nursing home purposes. And right now, there's no look back for home care, but there's one coming within the next year.
Okay.
And a lot of people aren't aware of that. The laws change all the time, constantly evolving and changing. And the tax laws are about to change. They're going to sunset at the end of 2025. So there's a great planning opportunity for high net worth individuals to take advantage of the very high estate tax exemption right now, but you have to act pretty quickly. So you really have to stay on top of that. So my firm, Cona Elder Law, is very big on education. We do e-blasts all the time, webinars, seminars, because there's so much to know, so much information, and we want our clients and the public in general to know what's going on, what they need to know, because knowledge is power.
It
And we
is.
want people to be able to take action.
Jennifer, when you decided to specialize, I guess, in this particular branch of the law, was there a personal why for you? Did you see someone suffering or something happen that you said, you know what, not on my dime. I'm going to make a difference.
Sure, a family member. I had a family member with dementia.
Okay.
So that's my connection to being on the board of trustees of the Alzheimer's and Dementia Center. And it was, when I first got into elder law, it wasn't even a field yet. It was growing out of trust and estates. So
Okay.
I got in on the ground floor, and it was just so interesting because it was changing all the time. And that never stopped, which I honestly couldn't have anticipated. But that keeps it so vibrant, so exciting. And I've always been an advocate at heart. I always thought I would end up as a women's rights advocate, but I kind of am, because a lot of what goes on here, women live longer and women are the caregivers.
True.
So I am really ultimately still a women's rights advocate as I advocate for our older adults.
Do you also help them with some solutions? Do you say, okay, you know what? You want to age in place, or you might be a good candidate to go to this particular, retirement center? Because I guess you're working with these like resource partners all the time.
All the time. It's all solution focused.
Okay.
And what's really interesting about this area of law is that we're dealing with not just the legal, it's financial, and it's emotional. So it's kind of a trifecta. So clients might come in and they might be the adult children often, and we're dealing with, okay, where's the best healthcare solution for mom, let's say? Okay, we figure that out. And then how are we going to pay for it? We figure that out. Now, what's the emotional component? Where is mom's going to resist nursing home placement, let's say, but that's the best medical solution maybe. And how are you going to navigate that emotionally? The guilt, the whatever may be. It's so highly charged, all these things that we're talking about, and you can't ignore that. I would be doing a real disservice to my clients if I pretended that those things weren't part of the scenario. It's
Okay.
all part of it.
I love that. And so you almost make it like a care path for them, right?
Yes,
You
it's a
put
care path.
together that path, that plan, and then you just kind of systematically implement it.
Yes, and I have to hold their hands all the way through that, all the
Right.
way through, which I don't mind at all. It's like a social worker. It's the counselor at law. You hear that phrase,
Yes.
attorney and counselor at law. It's like a counseling job, which I absolutely love. I couldn't have asked for a better job to be doing day after day, and we all feel that way in my office. We all love what we do.
And you have a beautiful team,
Yeah.
like, and every single one represents the brand. When they're out in the community, Jennifer, I promise you, like when somebody says that they're with Cona Elder Law, you just know it. Like it's
Yes.
it's on brand, and you know that they're caring, warm individuals. How did you go about that in your hiring process? Is that something like a skill that you looked for before you let somebody come in work at your firm?
Absolutely, because
Okay.
we have very solid core values. We have a defined mission and core values, and that's what guides us when hiring and sometimes when firing. If someone's not working out, it's because they don't share our core values, and it becomes very, very clear. So that's really what keeps the right people on the bus. And it really drives us. And it's also, this area of law is very personal
Yes.
because this is our family members. If it isn't now, it will be. This is going to be us someday.
Yes.
So it's not hypothetical. It's not in theory. This affects all of us. So it's you have to take it to heart. And if we have someone on the team who isn't wired that way, they just don't belong with us.
I also find that it's an investment for the better good. And what do I mean by that? I have had family members who, sadly, maybe another family member had passed and they didn't like dot their I's and cross their T's.
Mm.
And it became such a horrible expense and burden for the people that were like left behind.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So when you're talking about trust, it's actually like also talks about trust.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like, that word. There's different types of trust. One of the
Yes.
things I wanted you to just maybe not focus on, but like talk about our trust, and then also revocable trust.
Okay.
Because it's confusing, right?
Yes.
So what are they? And how does that help a team, a family member?
Okay. So there are definitely different kinds of trust. There's revocable trust, there's irrevocable trust. So
Okay.
irrevocable trusts are the kind of trust that will protect assets for Medicaid planning and tax planning. They have to be irrevocable. You have to give up control of the asset, and that's how you get the benefit. So that's the kind of trust where you have to wait out the 5 years, and then you could be eligible for Medicaid benefits, or the kind of trust where you're giving up control, and that's how you're able to avoid estate taxes.
Okay.
But you have to give up something in order to get that benefit. Revocable trusts are used for avoiding probate or managing assets, or if you think there might be an estate contest, if you're disinheriting someone or treating someone unequally, you could use a revocable trust for that purpose.
Okay.
So very different purposes. And then you have trusts that are within a will. Those would be testamentary trusts. So those are also of a different kind of purpose. So there's all kinds of different trusts. It's not one size fits all.
Okay.
And what happens often is that people will come into our office and say, here's exactly what I need. I
Right.
need a revocable trust because my neighbor has one. And that could be completely not at all what they need.
Okay.
And people should not be Googling things either, because, that's like when you go to the doctor
Right.
or you're about to go to the doctor and you look something up because you have like a mark on your arm or whatever. Don't bother.
Okay.
Come in and let us tell you after we analyze your situation and look at assets and you tell us what's going on. We want to tell you what we think is best. And we don't want to have to disabuse you of things that you've looked up or heard from neighbors and things. You want to sort of start with an open mind.
Okay. So they're going to come to you. They're just going to say what's so, and then you're going to help make the care path that's customized just for that person.
Absolutely. And it's different for everybody. It's highly customized.
Okay,
And we
that's
tell
good
them
to
what to
know.
bring. We have them fill out an information sheet. So we start from scratch and we walk them through the whole thing. And at the end of that meeting, we know exactly what we're doing for them. And they leave with the peace of mind that we've got a plan. We know exactly where we're going.
People put a lot of planning into the birth of a child,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, you're right. There's a day we're born and there's a day we die.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen, right?
Absolutely.
So why not plan for an exit strategy,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Or like to have a beautiful transition
Mm-hmm.
as we age.
Yes. And honestly, that's a real gift for your children, your loved ones. When you've planned for that eventuality, which is going to happen, and you have your ducks in a row, it's going to be a smooth transition of assets and other things, or even your living will, where you've made your decisions about what you want or don't want for end of life care. That is such a gift that your loved ones don't have to make those decisions. You've made them for yourself. It's such a wonderful thing that it's to give to your family members.
And it's never too early and never too late to do it,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Everyone over 18 should have advanced directives, power of attorney, healthcare proxy, living will. And you should do a will when you have your first children or you buy your first house. You're never too rich or too poor,
Okay.
and you're never too young or too old to start planning.
I love that. Thank you, Jennifer Cona. I really appreciate you being here. Enlightening, really enlightening and great information.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So please, like I said, I've watched this elder law firm kind of like grow, support the community. They're always an advocate for educating people and to really helping, right? To really helping. So if you're anywhere in the whole entire world or any state, and you need a path, and perhaps you're not going to come to Cona Law, just go to their website, get information, give them a call, because there's value there. There's value right from the get-go, and it's never, like we said, never too early and never too late. I'm Donna Drake, visiting with Jennifer Cona from Cona Elder Law. Be well.